Right, so that's it recording now. And just recording. Okay. Okay, so just this next activity for storytelling is all about, what's making a compelling character. And maybe each of you, if you have your favorite character, and hopefully to describe the, ins and outs, external and the personality. So external features such as the aesthetics, the colors, and the hair, and what they look like, as well as their internal features, like their soft qualities that they may convey as a person. So, so just working from the top down, then, who owns this character here?
That was myself. So,
okay, yeah.
My favorite character had to be from my favorite movie, The Book of Life, the animated film, and I had to pick La Muerte, which was one of the two gods that one of the two main characters in the movie. Her appearance was that of one that would spark joy, because it tied into her whole theme of, like, she's the good one, she's the one who is joyous and celebrates all the time, and her appearance, she's got like a big hat, she's got a big dress, she wears elements of her outfit even tie back to the holiday, which the whole movie revolves around, being the Day of the Dead. And she's got like the sugar skulls and the candles, which are stereotypical of the holiday, but her whole character design is that of, like, it reminds you of a child. She's playful, kind, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she sounds quite vivacious, and sort of a colourful character from the description here as well. And I haven't actually seen this, but she sounds like a powerful sort of character from your description, and somebody that maybe, I don't know, you might aspire to want to be. She sounds quite vivacious and animated kind of personality. Yeah. Okay. No, that's great. Yeah. And then so who is this Joel Miller? Yeah. Is that Connor? I'm going to switch. I'll just switch to the chat here, Connor, just for your benefit. And okay, yes, okay, right. So maybe if we come to the Padlet here again. Okay, well, if you vote, do you want me to go over it now? Do you want to? And maybe we'll just work our way down. Oh, I see it down here. Yes, yeah. Okay, I can see your description. Yes, and this is it here, isn't it? Yeah. And The Last of Us, primitive, pessimistic, and so it sounds a bit selfish, doesn't he? Over the course of the time, yeah. Okay, and yeah, physically be tall, whether be okay. Well, he does sound like he's got a bit of character here, from the looks of him, and that he's had many life experiences, and so he sounds interesting in that way, and but he does, yeah, he sounds like he's most driven, yes, about survival, really, from when I'm reading some of these types of things. Yeah, no, okay, that's good, because I know you've written it there, yes, but it's hard to, explain, okay, yeah. And so I'll maybe come back up. So then just a wee reminder, oops. I'll just come off that, come back into Teams here. Okay, so I'll just go over here. So then, so the next person, just to, if I get the Padlet opened up again here, and Chloe Price.
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah. She's like a rebel in this game, Life is Strange. That's like one of my favorite games. She had like a really difficult life. Her dad died when she was young, and then her best friend moved away, and she just kind of became really isolated. And then she made another friend, Rachel, but that friend goes missing, and she was like her only friend. but then the other friend comes back and they're looking for her. Eventually, she opens up to her friend and then describes everything that went wrong in her life and how much she's went through, and then she just had a really tough life, but then she overcomes all that in the end and
Okay.
sacrifices her own life at the end of the game as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's kind of sad, but yeah, she sounds like it's just kind of like a, you know what, she's had a hard life.
Yeah, she's just
yeah, she's
troubled.
a giver, you know, yes, it was too, like, oh yeah. And no, that sounds, you know, like lots of people, I suppose, have challenges in their life, yeah, but I suppose she sounds like the type
Yeah,
of
it's just about overcoming that,
yeah, okay.
moving past it.
Yeah, sounds like interesting character, yes, yeah. Okay, yeah, because lots of people have to deal with things, so that can be, yes, that could be something that in a game maybe that even lots of people could, maybe there's certain things from some of these characters that most of you have mentioned that I'm sure most people can, you know, relate to different parts of them as well. Okay, no, that's good. Okay, and then so this next one's anonymous here. So who wrote this bit here?
That's
Ellie.
mine.
Oh right, yeah. So Casey, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. A compelling character is a character who is mysterious in some ways, which keeps you guessing, and sometimes you're unsure why they do things. Throughout the story, you figure out who they are as a person and that they aren't perfect by any means. My favourite character is Ellie from the game The Last of Us. She is one of the lead characters in the sequel, which makes her strong and dominant. While playing the game, I have questioned why she has done certain things, but as the story continues, I understand who she is as a person. She is hurt and allows her anger to control her actions, even if they aren't human.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, yeah. And I haven't played that game myself. That's a game, yeah. There's and but I suppose yes, she's got qualities there. As you mentioned, strong and dominant, you know, and you know, and I suppose yes, I can see there's a sense that she can maybe can control, you know, so her anger, you know, and she sounds like she's got a bit of endurance there as well. Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, she sounds interesting. Yeah. And you know, but you think all these things are core, you know, compelling characters are core to any story that you know, if you were thinking about, you know, going on for developing an animation or a game or piece of visual effects as well. And then Richard.
Yeah. The character that I chose is Dante from Devil May Cry. He's a very flamboyant and not very serious at all, and he just messes around all the time. He's a demon hunter who goes around killing demons, and he just does it for the fun of it.
Okay. Yeah, well, he sounds like, yeah, he's very, I suppose, light-hearted maybe in his approach to life, yeah. And you know, that he's maybe easygoing, as you say, you know, whilst, yeah, charismatic, yeah. And but he sounds kind of easygoing as well. And what does he look like? Does he look, you know, if you had to?
I put a Pinterest link to
Oh,
show
right.
what the character looks like as well. He wears like crimson red clothes, mostly with a
All right.
cloak.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks quite flamboyant, actually, as a character as well. Yeah. I can see, yes, the way he's been represented, and you know, with the colors, these reds and the dark colors, and the way is, you know, when you think about the visual, the aesthetics can really help tell a story. And you know, first impressions, sometimes when people see people, you know, they look like a certain way, you know, and that can convey something about a character. And so kind of that's good. And then this was Connor, isn't it? This is this is your Joel Miller, yeah. And then so this next one, Master Chief, the Halo games, isn't it?
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
So I picked Master Chief as my favorite character because while he does have a personality of being somewhat serious at times, as he is a soldier since being a child, essentially, he inspires hope in people who see him. He's essentially the symbol for humanity. He's their savior and whatnot. And He's also a great conduit for the player to reflect their own personality through, because he's essentially a blank slate, which really gives into the power fantasy that Halo gives you whenever you play it. His appearance is mostly the same, wearing this green military power armor that varies from game to game, and we've never really seen his face. And he's always been a quite mysterious man of few words.
Okay, no, that's good as well. So he sounds, yes, powerful, but yet I would, when I read you, but he inspires hope in people. He must have a genuine feeling about him that is, kind of good as such. Is what I'm getting from that, and that positivity, that he must radiate like positivity, and because I think the Halo, I haven't played the Halo games, but I think I've seen images of the type of graphics on them as well. Okay, no, that's good, Mark. Thank you. And then who? This one, the
Mine.
copycat. Yep. Okay.
My favorite character from an animation is
Me?
Phoebe, being Puppycat. Her design is very fun, using rounded shapes and bright colors, which make her appear very light-hearted and visually appealing. Their personality was made to be very relatable with everyday interests many would enjoy. I personally like her because of this reason, and because her character is very upbeat and kind throughout the series, while showing human faults. Her character development through the series is very interesting, because there's loads of twists to reveal more about who she is as a person.
Okay, no, that's good. She's like kind of interesting character as well. I think even the name, we copycat, as you say, fun rounded shapes. So that, when you hear the name, it sort of creates, you can imagine certain things about the aesthetics of the character as well. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah. It's good that everybody's all different so far. And then, so this next one, Spider-Man, is it? Miles, more.
Yeah, that's me. Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know my mic was on.
No, you're okay.
A compelling character is one that has a dream or goal that they are determined to achieve. They usually have a strong desire to achieve this goal, which is what a lot of people are interested in when it comes to the story. The character usually isn't perfect, but is quite relatable, as sometimes they may mess up, but it's the way they try and redeem themselves in the end. The most recent story game I played was Spider-Man Miles Morales. The main character is Miles, a teenage boy from Harlem who is recently bitten by a spider, like his mentor Peter Parker. When Peter goes away on holidays, Miles is left to be New York's only Spider-Man. He tries to live up to Peter's legacy. His personality is very different to Peter's, as he is quite a social and assertive teen who is very popular in his neighborhood. He is quite a quick learner, and his main goal is to protect the neighborhood from crime. I picked this character as he has been a very compelling character to play and a fun character to learn more about throughout the game.
Okay, no, that's good. Yes, yeah, I think that's one that we're more familiar with. Yeah, as a character as well. And overall, he's kind of like I suppose the good guy, isn't he? Too, kind of his personality. You might, aspire to be. Yeah. And oh yes, I know. Yes, I know. What you mean now, Miles. Yeah, a teenage boy. Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah. And then, so this next character, Jairus Bracon.
That's mine.
Okay, Jasmine. Yeah.
I just said a good character consists of a realistic personality that contains strengths and weaknesses to allow development, and that they have to have good external and internal features. And my favourite character is Gash Karen from Mass Effect, and he was a protagonist that has a strong sense of justice, which really appealed to me. And he strayed from the path that was basically forced onto him to do what he knew was right. And he's a very tall species that's very skinny but muscly, and they wear tons of armor and stuff.
Yeah, okay. He sounds like I suppose he's a strong person too. Quite just I can imagine, from you said the tall military kinds, it does sound very regimented of the type of character as well. And but I would imagine, yes, the whole theme of it in the Mass Effect trilogy. Yeah, no, he sounds interesting as a character. Yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah. And then, so Cahill, I think this is you, Cahill, isn't it? Electro Frames, yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the character I picked picked was Ezio Auditore da Ferrans, more commonly known as Ezio. He comes from the Assassin's Creed franchise. He's one of the many main characters you play. I've chosen him because most of the times whenever you actually start playing the games he's in, he starts from nothing and works his way up. So he does, but he always tends to put civilians before him unless he's robbing money from them.
Okay.
But he sets out as an assassin to stop people in power obtaining a thing called an apple to rule the world. So he is. He's an assassin that tends to wear a long cloak that covers his entire body and most of his face.
Right, okay. Sounds quite sort of dark and ominous, does he? And with his strong too, I suppose, in a way, yeah, or powerful from the description, that you have made, yeah. Okay, no, that's great. Yeah. And then so this next one, Emperor's New from Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, Black, yeah.
So like one of the characters I feel like was compelling is Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. A compelling character to me is one that isn't perfect, but like you can see the justification behind their flaws or the choices they make. So say they make a choice that at the time doesn't seem right, but in hindsight you can see why they made that choice and they're not entirely in the wrong. Kronk seems to be like a loyal person because he helps the main villain, but he only does that because he's her assistant, and he's also like oblivious and devoid of common sense, which makes it easy for the villain, Vizsla, to order him about. From what you see from the outside, you can guess that the character is like strong and very serious character, but when you look at the inside, it's just a character who's very like lighthearted and is strong, but just isn't as serious as they look. And then over the course of the film, you can see like his character development because he still has good intentions throughout the whole film, so he does. But at the start, he's working for the villain, and throughout the movie, he gradually sees what the villain's doing wrong, and then swaps over to like the main character's side towards the end.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, because I think I suppose that's what can maybe endear you to a character, make you sort of like them a bit more. That they, whilst they try and better themselves, really is what I'm trying to say. They realise they're doing wrong and then want to help out or switch over, as you say, to the good guy or help out. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, that's great. It's all interesting. All these characters. These are all people I've never heard of before, apart from the Spider-Man. Okay, and but they all sound compelling from their descriptions. Yeah, and so who's this one here? Dr. Brown. Back to the Future. Yeah, I've seen Back to the Future movies.
That's me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My favorite character is called Dr. Brown from the Back to the Future movies. I chose this character because I think he's funny, likable, and he has a major part in all the movies. Throughout the 3 movies, you're shown a lot about his character and how he handles certain challenges. He often replies to a problem he is faced with in a comedic way that lightens the situation. I think Dr. Brown is a good example of character development because the viewer can feel a connection with him that allows them to be invested in the plot. Having a character that can provoke emotion among the viewer, whether that be positive or negative, is important because it allows the viewer to invest in the characters, which in turn means they can invest in the plot.
Yes, yeah, I remember. I mean, I suppose I've seen these movies, especially the original one, as well. And so he was kind of a key character. And I think I remember when he thought he was maybe dead, he was still alive or whatever, And so he was like an interesting character, especially in the first movie. I think it was one that I thought was my favorite, actually, the first Back to the Future movie. So it was. And so this last one, I probably not pronounce, from the Dragon Age origins, Locrine. Just wondering who that was.
That's mine.
All right, okay. Is that Brian? Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I believe that a compelling character is somewhat relatable to the viewer/player. In addition that they are they are emotional, to show that they are kind of like us and are clouded by our emotions from time to time. In addition, they must show flaws and that they are impervious to things. For this, my favorite character would be Logain in Dragon Age Origins because he's a well-written antagonist in the game who is motivated by his greed and power to protect his country and daughter from the enemies in the game. In addition, he goes as far to betray his closest friend to leave him to die, which goes to show how far he'd go. And his external features would be that he has a stern-looking face with black hair, and he wears this green-tinted heavy armor to make him seem intimidating. And his internal features would be that he is a very greedy and he's very powerless to get what he wants in the end.
Okay, no, it sounds interesting. Yeah, like good. I suppose like like your main good guy character that everyone will, how to say, really, I suppose, want to, follow through or engage with in a movie or an animation. And this is a game. This is Dragon Age Orange. This is.
It's a game.
It's a game. Yeah, I think it's one thing I could do with playing more games. Okay, no, those sound great. Everybody, they're all quite diverse, and I think from your descriptions, you've all sort of highlighted things in those characters which sound imaginative, and they all sound compelling, and how important that all of these games and that most of you have mentioned, and it sounds as if they have really how to say engaged you, and so if you think when you're making an animation, or if you're making a game yourself, or if you're creating a piece of visual effects, how having compelling characters can be like the central point for storytelling. And so this can make or break, I think, a good story. And so it can. Okay, no, so those were very good. Well done. And so I think what we'll do now is we'll do the next activity. This one's a wee bit shorter. So I'll give you 10 minutes to do that. So I'll stop recording this one here, and then it'll go into the